Okay, so for our topic, we chose the legalizations of psychedelics and the use of them for mental health benefits. And because of this, we chose to name the Shroom Squad for obvious reasons. This presentation will outline our research on the psychedelic use, such as different policies and institutions surrounding it, as well as the many mental health benefits it could possess. And then we'll also talk about our experience as a group.
So, so when researching the systems and institutions that hold power over this situation, we have come to the conclusion that two institutions hold power over the enforcement of illegal psychedelics, which is the federal government and the institutions that enforce the federal government's laws. So the U.S. government passed the laws that makes possession and use of psychedelics illegal in the 70s, which is a long time from now. Equally as important, they also heavily funded drug enforcement institutions in order to enforce these laws. Now, this has continued to present day, which has created an unregulated and unsafe black market for psychedelics.
The research regarding psychedelics in recent years has ramped up. As of 2019, the FDA has already gone ahead and approved a nasal spray for treatment-resistant depression, which uses a derivative of hallucinogenic ketamine called esketamine. In addition to this, leading up in 2017, researchers from Imperial College in London deduced that the use of psilocybin therapy was beneficial since their tests on 20 patients resulted in patients reporting that the benefits lasted up to 5 weeks past the initial treatment. Later in 2019, the FDA further designated psilocybin as another breakthrough treatment. The reason that psilocybin was highly regarded was because its effects slowed down activity in the amygdala, which is the brain center for controlling emotions like fear and anxiety. Psilocybin isn't the only drug that has been tested in recent years. However, it is one of the most notable and can be seen as one of the stepping stones towards using psychedelics as an alternative form of treatment for those that aren't affected or benefiting from current drugs relating to mental health disorders/issues. Further research can be beneficial and produce more possibilities for those that feel as if their situation is hopeless.
So one other method of research that's been going on has been with microdosing. So before about 2016, most of the research had been done on taking like a typical dose of whether it was psilocybin or LSD were the two drugs I was researching. But microdosing has been researched recently. A study done by the British Journal of Psychology showed that 1/10 of a typical dose of psilocybin produced results in people with ADHD, ADD, and anxiety. It was shown to be effective in helping memory retrieval and changing negative bias from past experience. There was a fMRI scan done on the brain with a placebo group and a group with who took psilocybin, and it showed that similar to what Coy was mentioning, the effects lasted weeks and weeks after. Another study done at a college in the Netherlands showed that it was a survey done where people who microdosed psilocybin remotely by themselves, they showed much higher quality of life, and they said it affected them better than the drugs they could get from their doctor. And so, this may be just a survey of people's opinions, but it shows the direction things are going with psilocybin use widely, both at a regular dose level, but the effects on a smaller level. Also, just a quick side note that Oregon, actually just this year in this election cycle, legalized the use of psilocybin and the production and distribution of it with companies that can get a license for it. It will be they're helping provide assistance to companies through government government benefits to help make it safe and make it broadly available. So this will help in future because now that it's legal in one state, there will be much more research done about it there. And so we may find more out as the years go on.
And so, as we did our research, we found out that one of the arguments against legalizing psychedelics is because this solution can be one of the 5 pitfalls of social change, if you guys remember those. And that's called a magic bullet. So from the information that we've presented so far, it seems as though legalizing psychedelics for medical use is a no-brainer. Louis, Coy, and Eric have just given great examples of how it can help and what it can do to benefit people. But while current depression and anxiety medicines have harsh side effects, it is still somewhat of a mystery as to what psilocybin can do for a person and its individual effects on people. So as stated before, some people have had great results with it, but others don't have the best results with it. They may fall into deeper depression, have more anxiety, and we see these problems in some of the medical research that we came across during the research portion of our project. And then another issue that comes along with this is making it legal doesn't necessarily solve the problem. There is still this stigma that is around psychedelics, like they're a bad thing or like they're only for hippies, and getting people to take them is a problem in and of itself.
Okay, so to go into our group experience, each of our different group members had really different values, and they were actually shown really strongly in each individual. For example, Jack's top value was flexibility, and it was very apparent because even though he took on the leadership role in our project, he was very accommodating to all of our different schedules and understanding like when we couldn't all make it to a scheduled Zoom meeting, he was okay with it. And then Koi's value of authenticity was also very apparent because he was really honest with all the group members with like different conflicts and like his views on things. And he also expressed how he was like willing to ask for an extension if he thought that we needed it. And in the end, even though we all had really different values, we worked together cohesively. And I think that one of the reasons why is because we were all really comfortable with each other already because of our personal leadership presentations. And it kind of seemed like we were already friends. And I think that because we knew each other on a much deeper level, which is different from other class projects, it helped us to understand and accommodate each other.
In our group, a strength that showed was that all of us were very understanding, open-minded, and I would sum this up as us being very progressive individuals. While we didn't disagree on the stance that we took on this topic, there were so many different approaches that we could have taken, but we were still able to hear out each other's point of views and come up with the one cohesive way in order to present our message. I believe that this strength in our group had a large impact on our productivity and furthermore influenced one another's work ethic.
One conflict in our group was between Jack and I. So in the beginning, me and Jack both wanted to kind of hold the leadership position for the group, and we both took roles in guiding the group. Eventually, though, Jack proved to be the most organized and prepared out of any of us, and he took that leadership position permanently. And we conflicted a little bit over guiding the group in the beginning, but all worked out in the end.
Yeah, so like that struggle that we talked about, we kind of came up with this during the beginning of the project. So when we first got together as a group, we said what we wanted to see from ourselves while we go through the project. And everybody kind of talked about how they lead the group, or like they're the ones that are making the schedules, stuff like that. And they want to see themselves be able to be led. And this is part of getting out of our comfort zone, being comfortable, getting uncomfortable. And so, like Eric talked about, he wanted to have that leadership role, but he was comfortable with stepping down and getting outside of his comfort zone. And in the end, we were all able to contribute equally to this group's success and achieve our goal that we set out to achieve.
So in conclusion, today we've talked about legalizing psychedelic drugs. We've focused a bit more on psilocybin, in particular magic mushrooms. There's a bunch of gatekeepers out there. Eric mentioned the government, federal government has been kind of holding back progress in this field. There has been progress outside of the country and even inside the country with research being done on the positive effects of psilocybin on mental health. Oregon just legalized it this year, so we are clearly on the right track. We did, at the beginning of this project, all come into this with similar ideas of supporting legalizing it, but we did learn as a group how to work from different perspectives. We may have it may have seemed like an agreement on the surface, but coming at it from different perspectives sometimes is challenging in its own way, where we need to take other people's opinions and kind of figure out the best way to explain it in this presentation. And so one theme throughout this that we'll leave you with to think about is, so psychedelics have been illegal since the 70s. And so what's another example where the gatekeepers in society are holding back progress on something where, in this case, psychedelics are proving to be positive for mental health. And so where is one other place that you may see in your life where the gatekeepers of society are causing there to be no progress? So yeah, thank you all for listening, and we hope you have a new perspective on psychedelic drugs.